Yes.
It's been 6 years since I made my last review of a Pebble watch, so when my new Pebble Time 2 showed up in the mail today, I wasted no time opening that sucker up. Reveal failed. Okay, not off to a good start. The Pebble comes in a nice cardboard box, feels like recycled paper, nicely embossed, no complaints there, a little bit tricky to open. Inside the main box, there's the charger dongle, as well as the Pebble itself. I went hunting for the watch band, which is not underneath the Pebble, to my surprise. Nor is it in the sleeve. Nor is it underneath the lid. Checking that box again. Still not there. Also still not in the sleeve. Ah, it's in the original bag, in a separate box. Beautiful. Nice. Wrong side. Okay, open here. Finally got the watch bands out. This comes with 3 pieces, a short and a long attachment, depending on how big your wrists are. I slid the Pebble out of its wrapping, and it felt great. Just like my old Pebble Time steel, but a little bit slicker. My Pebble muscle memory leapt into action. I held down the top 2 buttons, and it powered up. After I had the app downloaded and installed, loaded up a watch face, I put on the band. The band feels really nice. Unlike some cheaper silicone bands, this one is very smooth, and I like the way it feels. I'll have to see how it ages. Sometimes when it mixes with sweat and soap and everything, it can get tacky, but this one has a great feeling out of the box. Clicked in no problem. The old Pebble Time steel doesn't turn on anymore, but you can still see the outline of where the bezel is and where the screen is, and you can see that the screen is much smaller on the older watch. The buttons on the side are knurled in a similar sort of way, but as you can see, the new Pebble has more space between the buttons, which should make it easier to tell which button you're pressing. I also compared the new Pebble Time 2 against my current watch, which is a Garmin Forerunner 265. There are things I like about the Garmin, but in terms of the user interface, the Pebble has it beat hands down, especially for managing notifications and navigating through them, as well as audio controls. The Pebble is also much thinner. It takes up a lot less room on your wrist, which is especially important for fitting underneath long sleeve shirts, which the Garmin is not great at. Here are a couple of watch faces so you can see that even though the Pebble is significantly smaller and the screen is not backlit much of the time, it's still very easy to read if you pick a watch face that's easily legible. I was delighted to see that the new Pebble worked just fine with my charger from my Pebble Time steel, as well as the charger that comes included. Well, the dongle that comes included, the USB-C cable, is not. That worked perfectly as well. I'll have another review coming out in a few days or weeks once I have more experience with the new Pebble. In the meantime, feel free to check out the watch face I made for the Pebble store. It's called Ahead of Time, and it has this neat little trick. It displays a time that's slightly in the future by some random amount, and it makes it so you're not late to things as much because you think it's just a little bit later than it is. I hope this video has been helpful, and if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments below or tweet at Nick Lum on Twitter. If you're waiting on a Pebble, I hope it arrives soon, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.